Okay, so Nomad it is, my Nomad tournament with some, wacky settings, we have to say. We're forcing the players to play random for the first game, random save, and then for game 2, the losing team of game 1 gets to pick map, but the civs will have to be reversed from the previous one, so that can cause some serious upsets and some funny matchups, but it's been many nice games so far. So we have Fatman and Tricky T here with Goths and Chinese. Chinese used to be top tier on Nomad, but when they nerfed them so that they don't get the 3 extra villagers until the TC is up, that really set Chinese back, because otherwise you could use some of those starting villagers to scout a lot more of the map or simply build your TC a lot faster. But I mean, still you have the Chinese advantage, like cheaper technologies and in fact starting with extra villagers once you get your TC up. So if you have a food source, which is the case for Drinky here, the idle TC time should ideally be at a minimum. Let me just fast forward a bit because there's a chance I'm not live quite yet. But these players are playing live now. I'm following the live action. As for Faraday and Paganini, they're settling in the south here. Quite close to each other. Malians, in fact, right on the shoreline here, but with Malians, you should have a good chance to contest water due to Malians being fantastic on Nomad with their wood savings, allowing them to drop a dock instantly and pump out efficient ships. So Faraday should have a be able to establish a lead in the fish department here because of that. So Malians, Aztecs. Aztecs, interesting, is also not too commonly seen on Nomad, of course, but the villagers can gather +3 per trip still for the Aztecs, so that's an eco bonus to keep in mind. And I guess you have a good answer to the Goths as well in the Aztecs, also having faster military production buildings, but applying to all military production and Garland War to boost the attack for the infantry to +8 total in the Imperial Age. You also have the Eagle Warriors as Aztecs for raiding purposes and playing the map mobility, so could come in handy. But the way it's set up like this, I think I like Fatman and Ricky's positions better because they are set up nicely to expand towards each other and take out some take some presses. Oh, 3 boars for yellow. That's a very good start then. As the players are approaching the feudal ages, and let's have a look at their scoutings actually, if they've scouted the shoreline yet. Not really. Let's make Paganini green, by the way, so we have these team colors here. It's easier to follow. Ooh, straight fast castle for the Aztecs. That could mean Eagle Warriors, I think. And quite a bit of fish indeed for Paganini here, so Eco seems strong. OP 56, Faranini 58 builders. They're quite close in the eco department here, but this is certainly indicative of a straight fast castle. And look at the gold investment as well. Unless Paganini plans to invest heavily on water here, this could mean eagle rates. Why the walls though? It's only your next door neighbor next to you here, buddy. Faraday is walling out his opponent. Is he gonna sling here or something now? Nah, he's contesting water, so he's not slinging. I've seen the top bracket actually playing a slinging strategy for some of the Nomad games because slinging isn't banned for this one. Idle TC time for the Chinese to be expected, but still, like with 32 villagers. We have Pagadini going up here. 6-7 on gold now. This has to be the Eagles. Which could be hard to deal with this early on Nomad because you actually have both players on OP playing for the water here now. Probably want to limit. Well, they may or may not have seen that Green has invested heavily into water. Well, Blue should have some as well. Well, Blue is going to take the responsibility here as a Malian, so that makes sense. They can go up earlier due to their early eco boost, and then and just extend the feudal age and try and win water on their own. Eagle Scouts in the making now is excuse me. Eagle Scouts in the making now for green. It's actually with the forward barracks here. Nice. 2 barracks, in fact, and the castle age will kick in. This could be devastating, although the scouting isn't revealing too much. But they see the houses probably knows that Fat Man is around the area here. Fat Man just now dropping a blacksmith. That's going to be delayed by the first eagle here. Might even get the kill. But if Drinkity is the punching bag here, no, sorry, Fat Man is the punching bag here, there's a chance that Drinkity can yeah, get more of a free boom going here with the Chinese. Going to the castle age now with 9 fire galleys on the water as well. Enough to contest Faraday by the looks of it. So it's going to keep that water control, that precious food income for the Chinese here. And yeah, actually right here, it's kind of even because some of the red ones are weakened here. We have demos in the making, we do, and more fire galleys. Drinky will need to withdraw here because it's outnumbered now. Or numbers are actually the same for now, but there are more numbers in queue for Faraday here, so that's a really bad fight for Drinky T here. It's yeah, and it's 1 versus 2, mind you, for the Chinese player here. So Faraday doing great work here at claiming water for his team, but. And in the meantime, Paganini making some serious efforts on land. Kind of a monk siege push here now with the Aztecs. Eagle warriors for now, but we have Siege Workshop and the Monster as well. Isn't gonna let the Goths off easier. And of course you want to punish the Goths. You don't want Goth spam in your face by the end of the... by the approach of Imperial Age. Okay, so we are actually seeing finally the slinging stats show to the side here. Where is that? Yeah, I think it's gonna. I mean, further sent 600 resources. Now we'll see if that keeps up. He is walled in down here and staying in the feudal age, right? Going quite heavy on the gold to sling Aztecs gold, perhaps. And keeping water, you could probably send food from the food source on water. But this is looking rough for Patman already. Taking some serious damage here. Let's see if we can find the EcoKD. 10 villagers lost for Fatman on the way to the castle age. Disaster for any civ. Yeah, definitely slinging. This proves why slinging tends to be banned in tournaments. So the idea was to allow slinging on Nomad, because if one player is completely screwed up early in the game with some help of slinging, you turn the events of the game. But now it comes to show that Faraday hasn't been exclusive to slinging, though. He's been fighting for water. He's been fighting for water, which is significant, of course. But mainly committing to sending resources to the teammate here, and that's why he walled himself in, of course. Strong stuff. But will they see through it? The OP will probably look at the stats after the game, if they haven't realized already that Faranini are doing the slinging approach here. We see how many resources sent. 1500 something resources sent. I mean, at some point this is going to be revealed. You know, we had TBH, I think, or AHQ. I don't remember. Maybe it was Nomad. Nomad is unfair, I think, was the team's name actually, with the sniper and yeah, French players team. They did slinging successfully, but they did get caught off. It didn't work for their second game, so there's not a guarantee that Faranini will get away with this again on the next map. So nice and quick game on the first Nomad match up here. 75, 8 KD from Malian's water. So even though the slinging was happening to boost the Aztecs on land, good efforts to control water as well. So better resources overall for Malian's Aztecs. And then society shows Military high for the Malians, including the fish, of course. 140 APM tops. Tasking different Eagle Warriors around, maybe. But that ends the first one. We just have to stick around and see if we can find the next kingdom. It's going to be on OP's home map. And they have 5 players in the lobby, because why not? And they'll be launching the next one soon. So they will be playing... OP will now be playing Aztecs Malians, I believe. So that kind of calls for a more standard map, maybe, although you could play into Malians' advantage on maps like Pilgrims, which is very home water heavy as well. But we'll see. Oh, man, Nomad is popular. Oh boy. Very good chance that the randoms will be thrown out here soon enough. Seems to be a tiny yellow difference between the two teams, but nothing too serious. 1879 and 1922 versus 2071, and yeah, it's not too bad. Just look here again. Land Nomad, yeah, I think we're good. Let's just hop into it. There's a spectator delay, of course. It should be when playing live like this. Just in case someone wants to stop by the stream and look for important details. So man, know what it is, but that's good. This could go either way, because Goths are pretty nasty on these maps if they, or any map if they get a free boom and get to the Imperial Age and their crazy infantry spam. And then you have Chinese and Malians that both are very versatile and especially strong in the Castle Age, maybe with their options of basically everything. Camels, siege. Malians have even better monk tech tree than Chinese, come to think of it, since Malians get redemption as well. Chinese don't. But then again, do you want to go for the cavalry approach against Aztecs or Malians? I guess the Chinese will be playing the crossbows here most likely, and Goths could. Oh! Restart, maybe? Restart, drop, something? No, it's a drop actually. Okay. So we'll go back to look for the. Go back to look for the rehost. Yeah, I fill up the lobby again. They'll be launching the rehost soon enough. You have it? Just gonna pull it up here, hopefully the correct one. About 2 minutes spec delay, which is to be expected. Yeah. So, Aztecs go. No, Goths. Goths Chinese versus Malians Aztecs. So Chinese team bonus grants more food to the farms, which can come in handy for sure. And yeah, maybe for land nomad if you struggle to find food, that's very useful for your first few farms at least. Malians with the wood savings as always have an easier time getting the buildings up for any unit or tech switches you may need to make. Then there's Aztecs, always with the option of well, strong infantry, so they kind of counter Goths and also any Chinese archer arbalest play should come to that with the Eagle Warriors. Then again, of course, Eagle Warriors against Goths. Goths have ease of production for infantry in general, so which is one of the better responses to Eagle plays. Here we go. So Faranini, they are up 1-0. And yeah, blaring each other in the north, they may be settling close again. So could absolutely be this sling approach again, like the previous game they did. TC going up now for Paganini with the Goths in the north here. Oh, imagine slinging Goths to a ridiculously fast Imperial Age. That's oof. Just the thought of it is quite scary. As per the rules, well, these guys are teammates, but if that had been an enemy villager fighting is not allowed. How do we do this? There we go. And there we go. Yeah. Easier. Ooh, land Nomad here. But teammates staying close. Drink your tea with the Aztecs over here. Best setup for expansion and boom to the south, I'd say. Decent for Fatman as well. While Paganini and Faraday might be cramped up in the north side of the corner here if played correctly by OP here. Chinese will magically have 3 villagers instantly appear once the TC is up. I'm guessing the boar will be brought in immediately as well if Faraday has it scouted, and that's the case. Looking a bit at the scouting here, I think I saw Goths getting loom, right? Because Goths get instant loom. Yep. So could be that Panini will go on a laming spree here and find resources to wall in or whatnot here. Or shoot enemy boars. Yeah, securing that food source for the Chinese early on here. 13 food only, so might risk some idle time here now, as usually is to be expected for Chinese, of course. Or maybe it's fine. Let's see for the idle timers here. 24 seconds only for Chinese. That's actually pretty good for Chinese on the map. Jinky T now moving out. Is it just for the scouting? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, no, not really any sheep here. Oh, this is a bad start for Jinky T. There's okay. There's some hunt to be taken on here, so that helps. But generally speaking, food source accessibility not the best for Drinky Tea. What looks with scouting with villagers, as you kind of have to do as well when you're in bait of resources like this, and yeah, they're all kind of doing it to get an impression of the map, of course. You need to place houses as well, so while you're scouting, you with the villagers, you could also go. You could also build houses, of course. Finds a mill here, so now going to lame the deer, so Fat Man's food will decay before he can eat all of it. It's also could be an indication that Fat Man's TC is not too far off, right? So Fat Man probably sees this as well, sees the deer dying. Oh, he's actually gonna take that food and bring it back home while at it. I think scouting is what's of most interest now. They're not allowed to villager fight before 5 minutes, so if you run close with TC at that point, yeah, now of course we've passed 5 minutes, so you're allowed to fight. Fatman is actually going to chase here, but yeah, he gives up on that one and says, "Thank you very much. I want that food for myself." Looking a little bit at scouting here, they know the location of blue now, and they may suspect that green is up here as well, due to the wait. That was a blue laming villager, so maybe not. Yeah, it's the villager rush here, the rush to take out the hunter. 18 and 18 for Faranini, 16, 17 for OP. So all in all, well, Chinese get those 3 extra villagers. That's a boost. Phew, that's a boost in itself. While OP have decent eco bonuses in the Aztecs and Malians as well, but as you saw earlier, Trinket is really struggling for the early food sources here, basically not finding any sheep. So that's gonna set back their feudal ages quite a bit. Where we might see both players on Faranini up to the feudal age before OP here. Malians going up now, going to gold, 3 on gold at 20 pop. That, and just 1 second on idle TC time by the way as well, so that's impressive right there on a land Nomad map. Going with 3 on gold, even another one by the looks of it. That should mean an archer's investment, but well, we'll see. Could also be an infantry rush or whatnot here. Now we're seeing the walls going up between the players as in the previous game as well. Might be seeing some sling here again, but then again, wouldn't you rather want to sling offs to get to that insane spam in the late game? Barracks for the Chinese as well. I'm assuming Faraday wants to play these scouts here as oh wait, there's 2 on gold for Faraday as well, so I guess Chinese are going for the archers as well. There's the feudal age for our Malian's friend, and the range goes up. And Aztecs with the investment on gold as well could just be preparing for a fast castle attempt here maybe to get to the Eagle Warriors. You'd think these guys were enemies, right, with these kinds of walling, but I think it's just the same approach as in the previous game. Paganini here with the Goths slinging Faraday, the Chinese, to get to a smooth, fast castle, I guess. Let's see what they're sending. Sending food and gold, yeah. Should definitely be a super quick, fast castle here for Faraday and the Chinese, and then we see the stable, so that should mean the Knights investment for the Chinese here, presumably. Nah, but they slung more than that with the one. So slung 373 resources total. But you're paying tax as well, yeah. Until you research banking and these kinds of things. Second stable going up. This is going to be an absolutely ridiculous castle age time here. So my abilities time for both of the players of Faranini here. They clearly have this prepared. While Fatman now moves out to try and deal some damage. I know actually probably that Paganini is slinging here. And there's a pause, okay. Lag issues. Rule discussions. Yeah, Goffs is slinging. I'm surprised by that as well. Goffs is slinging. Would be much better to have Chinese slinging the Goffs to get to that later game power spike for sure. Problem now is that OP, they will be stuck in the 66 cent. OP is going to be stuck in the feudal age for a while now. We are at Faraday getting the Bloodlines, getting the first armor. He's walled enough here to keep the archers out as well, and once the castle age and you get those knights out, that's going to be... yeah, that's going to be the end of the feudal age archers for sure. And the way this is walled as well, clever walls from Faraday here. Pretty boring style of play to go slinging like this and not having one player not really participating at all. But it's also extremely powerful, as you see. We have two stables now producing knights, and Fat Man will have to withdraw. We do have Aztecs going up as well. Aztecs have amazing monks if and when they can get to the cast stage. And then they could deal with the knights, because it's not like Paganini will be bringing any army to the field just yet. Decent amount of archers here, still no +2 for Faraday here, so obviously can't rely exclusively on their own economy here. There's dependent upon Sling, and but do we have enough? Fatman, a very good army massing here with 14 archers and 2 spears, and Faraday is hesitant to engage here. Gonna get a kill on the Aztec player's side here though. There's a weak villager on the farm here as well that could be sniped. And now once +2 is in, should be easy to clean up Fatman's archer numbers here. 1,333 resources sent already. It's just so rough for the red player. You're now going to lose most, if not all, of the archers here. You have to focus the spears first, of course. But that knight just takes it 1-1. More spears being added. Malians gonna take some heavy losses here. And let's have a look at the resources. Oh, I think this... hope this is in-game lag and not on my end. But yeah, down go the archers. The KD, what's the situation now? What? 60 to send 200 food? It's expensive, man. Yeah, Faranini turns out to be the real OP team here. Slinging works out big time, and it's hard to stop as well when you're walled off like this. The red player losing all the armies. Still in the feudal age here as well. Let's see the resources again, actually. Yeah. Not quite missing food and gold for the castle age, so and yeah, just too strong push to handle at this stage in the game. So a solid performance on land Nomad as well, and we have to bear in mind the Civ and reverse Civs playing in here as well. This would have played out differently if the players had picked Civs, I'm sure, but then we'd see a lot of Persian and Malians mirrors on Nomad. And that's part of the reason I want this random factor as well, to see some variation. And maybe even out the difference between teams. Faranini, take the win though. Massive KD 23-3, that's just ridiculous. Villager counts comparable Aztecs with a straight fast castle there, but maybe actually with Malians and Aztecs going feudal armies here, it could be possible to hold off, but you extend your own feudal age, of course. But it is a wonders to a situation for Faraday, so in theory, if both opponents provide armies and they coordinate, maybe they'll be able to punish the Sling and turn things around. But there's a reason why Slinging is banned in most tournaments, because it can be so powerful like this.